Please like and subscribe if you're watching this and you enjoy it. This main event, I mean, we'll talk about the rest of the card, but I really like this main event.
Yeah, a couple noticeable prelims. Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother. He's a heavyweight. I think he has like 3 or 4 leg lock submissions in a row. He's fighting Muhammad Usman, Kamaru Usman's brother.
Interesting.
I expect another leg lock. Usman has almost 0 grappling. And then Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez is a guy that is not super well known. Unfortunately, he had a couple injury issues, but he is incredibly talented. So this is a very good matchup versus Luque. I hope we get a good amount of grappling because both guys are very good grapplers in that one. But keep an eye out for Joel Alvarez. But let's get in this co-main event here. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson.
Montel Jackson is 15-2, 8 KOs, 1 subs, 6 decisions, 9-2 in the UFC, 2 performance of the night, and he's had most knockdowns in UFC bantamweight division history, which I thought was an interesting stat. Also, interesting to point out, especially when you're taking on a veteran like Deiveson Figueiredo, who has a lot of finishes. Montel has never been finished. So at least in his pro career. Figueiredo is 24-5-1, 9 subs, 9 KOs, 6 decisions. He's a 2-time former flyweight champion, performance tonight 1 time, and he's tied Demetrius Johnson for the 2nd most finishes in flyweight division history, only behind Pantoja. So Figueiredo, we know this guy. He's a legend. He's dangerous. I think that this is Montel Jackson's time to shine. I think he's tough. I think he's got power, and I think they're going to have a really good fight. A lot of fireworks. I think it'll be good, but I'm going to go with Montel by decision here.
I thought that Corey tore up Davison's knee when he beat him in May. So 5 months seems pretty quick. I hope he's fully healed. But this is a big step up for Jackson here, but if he's going to break into the rankings, now's the time. He's on a 6-fight win streak. He's 33 years old, so he's in his prime here, but he is facing a former champion, albeit at a different weight class. So I think this one could be pretty close depending on which Figueiredo we see, but I'm with you. I'm going to go with Montel by decision.
Middle name is Samuel, by the way. Montel Samuel Jackson, so you know.
Samuel Jackson, nice. I like that. All right, moving on to this main event here. The real highlight of the card. This is a relatively weak card overall, but this one is a very good fight. Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot.
Mateusz Gamrot, 25-3-1, 8 KOs, 5 subs, 12 decisions, 2 performances of the night. Fight of the night 3 times. Fastest submission by Kimura in UFC history. 65 seconds over Jeremy Stephens. So just a little fun fact for you that he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights, with his only loss being a split decision by Dan Hooker. Just as notable, like Montel Jackson, his pro career, of his few losses, he's never been finished. And that's going to be super important in this fight because Charles Oliveira is a finishing machine. He's 35. That's not right. That must be like 11. I know I have 1-1. There's no way Charles has more. Anyway, Charles Oliveira, we know who he is. All right. He's a former 1-time lightweight champion, fight of the night 4 times, performance of the night 13 times. He's got like the most bonuses in UFC history. He's even got 3 submissions of the night back when they don't do that. Charles Oliveira is ultimately one of the most exciting fighters of all time, arguably the most exciting fighter of all time. But, you know, he is coming off a knockout loss to Ilya. And Ilya, say what you will, when he knocks people out like this, we've seen it before, it can change people for a little bit. You know, like Volk came back, but, you know, he tried to come back a little too soon, and it wasn't good. So that being said, I don't know. This is an interesting fight. As much as I liked Montel, and I think part of me says Gamrot, this could be his time too, I'm going to go with Charles here. I'm going to go with Charles, and I'm going to go 3rd round submission. Even though Gamrot's never been finished, Charles is so good at so many different places that I could just see him catching him. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, Charles' recent losses are to great wrestlers, and he is facing another one here. Of course, he is the record holder for submissions, and as such is very dangerous off his back. And Charles is dangerous in the clinch, too, which is where Gamrot likes to get his takedowns from. So, very interesting matchup. I'm going to pick with my heart on this one, so I'm going to pick Charles by TKO. I'll say round 4 later on. I think he struggles early and clips him like in the clinch later on.
And by the way, I was thinking about this too. And it's just so funny because the belt was never really taken seriously. But the winner of this could be a prime candidate for a BMF title shot too. Because now that Max has got that title, you know what I mean? And it's like lightweights pretty much challenged for it. Like I feel like there's like a certain excitement. Like that makes a great co-main event spot on a lot of these cards.
I don't want to see anyone fight for the BMF belt before Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is the only guy I want to see fight for that belt at this point.
But if Dan wins his next fight, maybe he should be fighting for the actual lightweight championship too, though.
Yeah, well, beating
Arman Tsarukyan, yeah.
Yeah, that should get you a title shot, but
we'll see what happens. But I understand your point. Dan Hooker would be, and also Dan Hooker versus Max Holloway. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sign me up. That would be awesome. So we had a great pay-per-view. We have a great fight night main event here coming this week. So definitely some good things to look forward to.